right? So I'm going to take a piece of cardstock because I want to find out how to get this. You've probably seen me do this before, but just in case. This church on here without making a mistake, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bottle cap, I'm going to put it down, and I've got some cardstock here. You could use paper too, but I like cardstock. I'm just going to lay it on top, and then I'm going to just use my finger and rub so that I get the impression of the outside of that. I'll show you the outside of that bottle cap, okay? So now I don't know if you can see this, but it makes it, yeah, there you go, a little bit of a dent, okay? Just a little bit of a dent. That's probably the easiest way I've found to do this. So now I'm going to cut in and follow that just a little bit. Me being really off center, okay? So again, it's not perfect, you can see. Hi. All right. So I'm going to set that aside. I'll show you in a minute how I'm going to use that. I'm going to paint this up with some DIY chalk paint, and I think the recipe's on my YouTube channel. So if you go to Farmhouse Craftaholics or youtube.com/Farmhouse Craftaholics, I'm pretty sure I have my DIY chalk paint recipe on there. And it's really super simple, right? So I have a towel here somewhere. Where did I put it? Oh, there we go. This is just an old painty towel, right, that I use to keep my surface clean when I'm working. And I'm probably going to need to do 2 coats for this. So I'm going to dry it. All right, so I've got coat number 1 done. Now this is hot, right? Which is probably why it's good to have this as well. I'm going to do the second coat on there. It's nice and toasty because it is metal. That's the word. It's hard to get your words out, guys, when you're trying to think and craft and talk all at the same time. Normally we just craft and we don't talk. Well, I do talk to myself, but normally when you're crafting, you're not trying to tell somebody all this stuff. All right, so we have her painted up. Nothing special, right? Now, if you want to make this a little more farmhousey, you can take, I'm going to use, oh, don't fall off your chair, Kim. I felt it happening. I was like, oh. Hey, not just go on the blooper reel, right? Yeah. All right, so this is hand sanitizer wipes, right? Or Clorox wipes or whatever. They're damp, that's what I want, right? Now, because I just painted this, the thing with chalk paint is it has this kind of, this nice ability for you to, what they call wet or dry, not erase. Oh my gosh. Anyway, you can remove the paint, okay? So you can see there's paint. I want to remove the paint along here. Now, I can scratch it with my nail because it's still soft, which is really, can you see how that happens? It's what I'm more likely to do because the paint is still soft, meaning there's still technically water in it. Or you can use a damp cloth and kind of do the same thing. Now, it'll take more off. See that? So you can control it with like a sharper, let's say a craft stick, because it's literally just not dry yet, really. It feels dry, okay? It feels dry to the touch, but it still feels cool, which means there's still water in that paint, which means it's not cured. It takes 30 days for paint to cure entirely, meaning that all the water comes out. So this is just a tip. You can use this, you can use a damp cloth, and you can remove some paint to make it look a little more vintage, right? So I'm just using this, or I'm more likely to use my nail, all right? But if you want to take more off, you can definitely wipe it back off somewhat, right? And make it look more vintage. So I'm just going to use this cloth to see. Now it's a little harder to control, right? So you can see, but that's okay because we don't want it to be perfect, right? Otherwise it's not going to look farmhouse if it's perfect. So there we go. Just while it's still soft, is the perfect time to do this. Don't wait till it's cured 30 days and then try to do it. You'll have to get sandpaper, right? Or something, because it's going to be much harder to get off at that point, right? So while it's still fresh, right, that's the perfect time to do this kind of work. There we go. And you have more options, right? C'est voila, just like that. All right, so you can see I've taken it off there. I have not painted the inside. That's okay. Some people like to work in here. I'm going to work on the outside, right? I like to look better. Everybody's different, so. All right. So damp cloth, Clorox wipe, hand sanitizer wipe, whatever you have, right? Whatever works. So, remember this that I cut out? Well, see how it fits on there basically? That's what I wanted, right? That's so I can do this, right? Now I can, actually I'm going to tape that for a second just so you can see, all right? I just made a little template basically. If you can't find the bottle caps, this is let me measure it for you. I believe it's a 5-inch circle. This part is a 5-inch circle. So if you can get a 5-inch or slightly bigger circle in any like wood or Dollar Tree, you know, Dollar Tree signs that are round, or, you know, it's just a 5-inch circle. Okay, so that's what it really is. All right, just so now you know. So now I can take my template and decide where I want, see that? I can decide I'm not going to wind up cutting things off. And I can decide where I want my church to appear on, basically on my bottle cap, right? So I can put it to the side if I want. I'm just kind of deciding. If you wanted to right here, you could do this, right? I'm going to probably emphasize as much of the church as I can get in there, right? So I'm going to take this and just figure it out. I'm going to lightly mark with a pencil. I finally put one over here. I'm going to lightly mark with a pencil, and then I'm going to trace that, cut that traced out, okay? Now you're not going to be able to see the, well, you might see it. I did really light, right? Can you see that? So now I know that's going to fit on that bottle cap, and it's going to be in the right position. So let's cut her out. I'm going to go a little bit bigger than what I've traced, just so well, you know what? I painted the background white, so I don't think it's going to show much anyway, so I'm going to go right on the line. Living on the edge here, guys. Living on the edge. I love this church so much. All right, that does not look quite circular to me, but again, we don't do perfect, but it's pretty good. And I have an idea. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so I want to make sure, because I want to hang this up, I want to make sure that the church is centered between the two holes here. So I'm going to do it this way so I can see it, and everything's nice and straight when it hangs. Can you see that? See how that works, right? And do I have any excess? And because I painted it white, like a vintage white, it's very hard to tell where, it might not be perfectly fit, but I have an idea for that anyway to fix that up, okay? So I'll show you in a second. So guys, like, I'm all about the easiest things, right? It's Elmer's glue. You could use decoupage. This is an inkjet print though, and I don't want it to get soaking wet. So this works just fine for what I'm about to do, okay? I'm gonna glue all this. And because this is not a napkin, I should be okay. There's not a lot of water in here. That's why I like this for this kind of thing, right? It's glue, the same as your decoupage is glue. Don't tell me it's not, I know it is. I have a DIY recipe on YouTube. And it works for all the things. So I'm using this, right? Just make sure it's smooth. Get it everywhere, right to the edge, right? Wipe off any excess on your apron. That is why we wear an apron. If you can see, hang on, I'm going to show you. Can you see my, This is where the paint goes, right? And all the stuff this is why I wear an apron. All right, so that's there. I'm going to turn this around so I can see the center, just to be sure. You have a little wiggle room with this. With the glue stick as opposed to decoupage. And because it's a full sheet of paper, it's not thin like a napkin. All right. Gift card, credit card, something like that, just gently squeegee it on, make sure those edges are all down. And you don't have any bubbles. Oh, this is so cute. Oh, I love it. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh, for Easter, or you know what, it doesn't even have to be for Easter, right? It can be for any time of the year if you're a Christian, or if you just like the vintage church look, right? The old-fashioned church and the old-fashioned, I just adore it, all right? Yeah, I'm liking that. So there we go, all right? Isn't that cute? I know, I mean, and simple. Like I say, easy and affordable, that's what I want for you. So the prints are, it's like $8.97 for, I think we've got 8 pages in there, so that's technically $1 a print if you only print one of them. What if you print 2 of each? Then it's 50 cents a print. What if you print 10 of each? Then it's what, 10 cents a print, right? Something like that. So the more you print for yourself, so the more times you use this church, the more economical your projects become, right? So, oh, I love it. All right, so now I didn't go right to the edge. I didn't get it quite perfect. So if you didn't get it quite perfect like me, then there's a fix for that, right? And I'm just gonna make this look a little more aged with a bit of black paint, all right? And a very scruffy chip brush from the Home Depot, right? And don't forget, you're gonna need your brush, because I'm gonna dry brush around the edges, all right? Here's the thing, if this goes all kinds of wrong, I can just peel that back off or soak it off, right? And then I'm just dabbing it in there, smashing it into the paper plate, and I'm gonna rub some off here, because I don't want much on here. If it goes all kinds of wrong, I can just redo it. I can soak that paper off, throw it in the sink for a couple of hours, it'll soak off, and then I can reuse the whole thing again, right? So I don't think there's any loss here. All right, so I'm gonna take my brush and I'm just gonna go like lightly along the edge. And I'm just kind of going on an angle. Can you see that? And I'm just trying to drag it a little bit. And look what's happening along the edge. Can you see this? So I need to do this so I can see this. Okay? So I keep it on an angle and you just make sure your brush is dry. This is important. But again, if you screw it up, if you think, oh, that's too much, and it usually never is, guys, you can go back and start again. Really, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? You never lose, as they say, because when you learn something, right, like this technique is one of my favorites for aging something fast. And I much prefer to work with paint than wax. Just wax has never been good for me. I have never done enough with it, right? So now can you see what that did to the edge, right? It's just very faint. I have used it, but I'm not that good with it. So, and I'm much better with paint, so that's what I tend to always go to. Yeah, baby. You could dry brush across it, but I do tend to like it to look a little newer and not so much like it just fell off the truck. And it's already got a vintage vibe there. Oh, isn't that adorable? I knew this would work, right? I knew it would turn out well, because it's just everything I love, right? So we got that, all right? So I'm done with the dry brushing. That's all I want to do. If you want to do more across here, keep it really dry and really light and just very gently start off. But again, if it doesn't work out, print another one off, right? And soak this one off and come back to the beginning. To hang it, I'm just going to use twine, right? Now you can use ribbon, twine. You can make those, you can bead like some twine. That would be cute. And like put it through here. But I'm going to take some twine and I'm just going to slip it through. It does come with a single piece that's great for beading. I don't know where that piece went. So, don't ask me how long this was. I'm going to say it was about 18 inches. That'd be my wildest guess, but now I'm cutting off quite a bit. And then, so see how it's across the front like that? I'm just going to grab that. And there we have it, right? That is going to hang a little better because it's front and back, right? So you can hang it up on whatever you like. You don't have to hang it up. You could glue this to something else. You can do whatever you like, right? But, oh, hang on, there we go. See why I was careful to get it straight between the two holes, right? Pretty much, yeah. So there we go. It is, I love it so much, right? It is so easy to do, right? That's what I want you guys to understand. This is never going to be hard. I don't do hard crafts for you guys.